Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and earlier today, Blizzard announced a handful of nerfs coming to Affliction and Demonology Warlock in the weekly reset. So this evening, I want to discuss those, talk about what it means, builds changing, all that stuff, and maybe a little bit looking at the 10.0.7 ring in Sims as well, because it's been more than a day without buffs and nerfs to the actual new stones. So yeah, sort of two birds, one stone kind of video, all that. As always, WeakWars profiles down below for free for you guys, links to Twitch and Discord, all that, yada yada. And like usual as well, I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons, guys, for all supporting Patreon a million times. Thank you. If you look at supporting on Patreon, it should be a link up here as well as down below. And I also want to mention that in about a week and a half or so, the 10.1 PTR Warlock spreadsheet will indeed be live on Patreon. The tier 3 Felgar rank or higher gets early access to that, if you're interested in all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so let's get right into it. So jumping right into the Warlock class tuning, it's hitting on Tuesday. I will say off the bat that Warlock is still bugged on PTR. If you looked at ray testing today or whatever on the channel, yesterday, that is still with the Demonic Inspiration Wrath of Minion bugs with more haste and more damage. But that will all be fixed, I'd assume, next week's PTR build. But on Tuesday, these changes are hitting retail and likely PTR whenever that build hits next week as well. So off the bat here, dev note, we're modifying the output of Grimoire of Sacrifice to bring it in line with the output of Warlock Demons. At the end of the day, Warlock is a pet-centric class, and while we want there to be an option to opt out of your pet, we don't want it to always be the clear answer. It's a bit odd, just sort of, I guess, out of left field. Sacrifice hasn't really been an issue or anything at all. I mean, if it's just a sim thing. Sac's better than, like, Sacrifice is worth a talent point commitment, so you play Sacrifice. I'm not really sure why this is an issue. It is what it is. It's not like I'm mad about it. It just seems odd. It's like there are other issues that, you know, maybe could be dealt with it, or this could be dealt with in a different manner, but it is what it is. Whatever. I'm not really mad about it. Just sort of odd. Wrath of Minion is being nerfed from 15% to 10 with the bonus damage it gives to Sac, and to a similar extent, so is Demonic Inspiration. So a 5% loss here and a 5% loss here, and they are nerfing baseline Grimoire of Sacrifice by 15% as well. So a whopping 25% overall. Spoilers ahead, it's still good for AF. You're still playing it. Sacrifice is still better than your current pet with these nerfs, but not mad about it. I don't really know why it's being nerfed. It's more of just a puzzling kind of thing, but I guess it is what it is. So anyways, moving on from there, there are more AF nerfs coming in. Dev note here under the AF spec. So this nerfs also, this is AF and Destro, by the way, because Sac is Destro as well. So there's that. But AF, developers note, with the removal of less impactful talents in both their class and specialization trees, Affliction received a handful of additional damage options that have increased their damage beyond what was intended. Sorry. We're making these adjustments to bring them in line with other damage dealers. So they're giving Affliction a baseline 2% aura nerf, which is actually, it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. It's sort of expected, not really surprised. The one that sort of bothers me is they're nerfing Dark Lair. And I don't know why they're nerfing Dark Lair. They buffed Dark Lair in this patch. They increased the damage it deals per dot you have on your current target and increased the way that it works with Grim Reach. Now, this could be a reaction to Grim Reach being too good, possibly. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just worth adjusting the modifier on Grim Reach, because like Dark Lair is not doing a whole lot in single target, but it feels good to hit when you're playing Dark Lair in the Malevolent Visionary build, when you're playing Soul Rot, when you're playing this build. It feels good to hit. It's a 2-minute cooldown. And for years now, Dark Lair has been a boring cooldown. You have Tyrant, Dark Lair, and Infernal, and Dark Lair's been so bad. We haven't even played Dark Lair for the past few months because it's just so bad, right? They buffed it in 0.7, but now they're nerfing it again. So it just, I'm not really sure why. It seems sort of unwarranted. I hope they consider reversing this change, because it does indeed hinder the Malevolent Visionary build, this build here, even more. It's awkward. I don't know why they're doing that, but hopefully they reconsider. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so the aura nerf overall, though, I'm not really surprised. Even after the Demonic Inspiration, Wrath of Minion bugs were fixed, the haste and damage increase effects, AF's are doing pretty well. You had the seed bug with So and all that kind of stuff and corruption, but I mean, AF's still pretty strong, so I'm not surprised. Honestly, this is actually like pretty good to see, I guess. I feel like it's not excessive. AF will still be solid, it'll still be good, but it's not going to be, you know, we're ahead by 3% of everybody else good, which is, you know, where you probably should be realistically. So I have Sims here in a minute we'll look at as well, but this is sort of expected, at the end of the world. Sac is puzzling. I don't know why this is being nerfed, but I guess it just what it is. It's still good for AF. A sim thing, whatever. There have been fights in the past where you wanted Sac over having a pet out, even when Sac wasn't good, like Kel'Thuzad, the fight in Sepulchre with the 4 bosses, the Primalist or whatever they were, because your pet was out of range. You couldn't always kick the target, right? So it has had some utility in the past, but it is what it is. I don't know. I hope they consider reverting this because this is really disappointing. It makes me sad because Dark Lair hasn't been good in years. So hitting Dark Lair, playing Malevolent Visionary with Soul Ride up and everything, it feels good, but now it's gonna feel bad again. So hopefully they reconsider this. Like, you could literally just remove this nerf completely and AF will still be fine. So I don't know, but it is what it is. Anyways, nerfs. So this is my current character sim. HS is Haunted Soul, MV is Malevolent Visionary. This sim here is Haunted Soul, 1 point in Sacrilash over Sacrifice. I wanted to show this sim just to show where Sac is at compared to Sacrilash, because I would assume this is where your talent point goes if the, you know, if you're going to put it somewhere else. So this is pre-nerf. I'm sitting at 106, 103, 98, 8. Post-nerf. HS post-nerf, 96.8. HS 1 Sacrilash post-nerf, 96.4. And Malevolent Visionary dropping off by a decent bit here. It's about 750 behind Haunted Soul. Comparatively to pre-nerf, it's behind roughly about 282. And it's much more fun to play than Haunted Soul, in my opinion. It's a better PI recipient, Malevolent Visionary versus Haunted Soul. Malevolent Visionary gives you a much higher burst damage profile. Because you're playing Soul Rot, you have your Dark Lair, you burst to, you know, about 210 here, roughly, give or take. With CDs, you can see the peaks and valleys in your rotation here, right? This is, you know, what time? This is like first Dark Lair, second Dark Lair, third Dark Lair, minor peaks here with Soul Rot or Vile Taint, whatever. It feels good, right? And you pull up Haunted Soul, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, you have like these minor peaks and valleys, but like you don't burst as high. It's just like, it's just more consistent. You're sitting at 85k-ish for like the majority of the sim. And like your Dark Lair peak, not as impactful both times here, being right here and right here. Like, the Malevolent Visionary Soul Rot profile is more applicable in raid settings where you want cooldowns allocated to a certain point in the fight. It's a better PI recipient. And while it still might be played in certain spots if you're getting PI, I really hope they bring back the Dark Lair nerf. I just don't think it's needed. I don't think it's really warranted. Dark Lair, as you can see here in this sim, is not doing 20% of damage. It's doing 3%. Like, it extends dots a bit, which, you know, you can't really account for that in sims a whole lot, but it's not incredibly impactful, right? It's doing 3.5%. Pre-nerf with Haunted Soul. Post-nerf, you're doing a solid 2.8. Pre-nerf Dark Lair here for Malevolent Visionary are doing 5.9. Post-nerf is now doing 4.8. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Hopefully they end up looking at adjusting this or just, you know, not putting forth the Dark Lair nerf. War nerf's fine. Sac nerf, I guess it is what it is. Sac pre-nerf is doing right about here. Looking at, this is, I believe, Malevolent Visionary. It is 1.8 million at 6.2. Post nerf doing about 1.4 million at 4.9. Still good. Still better than what your pet would do by a little bit. Still worth the talent point commitment. So, I don't know. And here are the corruption sims here. Also 98.8 pre-nerf, 96.4 post nerf. So you can see how Haunted Soul just gains more value with the Dark Lair nerf coming in. Like the one Sacrilash build jumps ahead of Malevolent Visionary and all that, which is, I don't know, a bit interesting, but what can you do? It is what it is. So either way, outside of that, we have some demo nerfs coming into. This is a bit puzzling as well, because Demonology, developers note, we're targeting Demonology's multi-target profile with these adjustments to bring them closer to other damage dealers. I didn't know we were ahead, but okay. We will continue to watch both single target and multi-target performance, along with the output of new talents and adjustments delivered in 0.7. They might adjust them later on. Demonic Strength being nerfed from 300 or from 400 to 300, and Dread Bite damage being reduced by 10%. So, I'm a little surprised about these. There's been no talk about Demonology overperforming in any kind of AoE setting, really. I will say that having Demonic Strength and Dogs heading into another pack, like a heavy AoE pack in Mythic Plus, like Second Boss in Court of Stars, or Imp pack, or a heavy, like just a big AoE pack, Spiders in Shadow Moon. Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of bursts, but so can Evoker, so can half the classes in the game. It's an odd nerf. It hasn't been like an issue anywhere. I mean, it's not going to impact single target a whole lot. I'm not that concerned there, but it's just surprising because Demo's, like, Warlock's not meta M+. I don't know where this seems like it's excessive, but it is what it is. I wouldn't mind a buff to Implosion or something to compensate for this, because it just seems odd, but I don't know. I just hope they kept in mind that our 2-piece buffs Demonic Strength by 20%, because we're losing that in Vault as well, or in Aberrus coming out of Vault, and Yeah, so that's it for Warlock tuning. The AF nerfs, I mean, whether you keep Dark Lair in or not, I want it to go. I don't want it to be in. I want them to remove this nerf. But either way, they're not unexpected. I expected a little bit of a turning of that knob down a little bit even after the Wrathful Demonic Inspiration nerfs were, I guess, bugs were fixed. This is a bit odd. Don't really know why it's happening. I guess it is what it is. Feedback's being given right here. So there's that. But I don't know. I guess we'll see where it goes. I think Locke's still in a fine spot. Demo's looking good on PTR with tier set. Hopefully they fix the extension of tier set and all that. App's looking good on PTR, and there's also Destro, which is not too shabby either. Alrighty, so getting into the ring updates, the Primordial Stone, Onyx Annulet stuff. Now, there's been a handful of buffs and nerfs to these stones over the past 24 to 48 hours. There hasn't been any, I think, in the last half a day or so. I'm planning on holding off until probably Monday or Tuesday till I, make like the max eye level of these stones and all that stuff. But I have run sims. I ran them last night for my own character and all that. So these are currently the highest sims. Now, for me, my own character. Now, keep in mind, I do play the 431 Seal of Filial Duty. I have a 421 Diurnal Chosen Ring, and I have this Filial Duty for Affliction. So I've run both Ring 1 and Ring 2 sims and all that kind of stuff. From what I've seen, Motoko ran some in the Lock Discord as well. They do match up pretty much from those sims as well. So this does indeed look to be accurate. Now, we have Destruction Warlock. I forgot what ring combination it was, but you can run your own sims, obviously. It's more or less just there for what looks to be best. So the big thing, Desirous Bloodstone, Prophetic Twilight Stone, let me pull this up here, do indeed seem to be the best. Where's this ring at? Do indeed still appear to be the best combination out there, which we are still playing, the ones that work well off each other here. So we have Twilight Stone, Desirous Bloodstone when it comes to single target. This is one target, 5-minute sims for Destro. Surprisingly, Humming Arcane Stone has been beat out by Freezing Ice Stone. And then besides that, number 2 in the slot here, you have Desirous, Prophetic Twilight Stone, Flame Lick Stone, then Humming Arcane Stone, which was nerfed in yesterday's changes. So it looks to be number 1. These two, Prophetic and Bloodstone, all these two right here, with X being the highest, X being Freezing Ice Stone, followed by Flame Lick Stone, and then Humming Arcane Stone. Now, once again, Freezing Ice Stone is, let's see, somewhere in here. Freezing Ice Stone, right there. And then Flame Lick Stone, followed by Humming Arcane Stone. And the cool thing is that whether you look at this for Destro, Demo, or AF, it is basically the same across the board. So Destro Sims here, a downgrade for both ring slots, not very surprising. It looks to be an upgrade. These are all at 424 for Demo and Affliction. Destro and single target for me, and the sims that Motoko ran as well. It doesn't appear to be an upgrade for Destro. However, once again, Ring 1, Ring 2, Freezing, Desirous, Prophetic. Moving on to Demonology, Freezing, Desirous, Prophetic, being about a 400-ish DPS gain. Again, Freezing, Desirous, Prophetic, being a downgrade, but still being the highest combination out there. So it is indeed an upgrade for one of my rings of Demonology. For what it's worth, it's actually replacing the Broodkeeper ring, the one with Haste Mastery and the Fire Shield on it. And this one here, being Affliction, Freezing, Desirous, Prophetic once again. A downgrade for 1. But number 2, Freezing, Desirous, Prophetic, replacing the 418 Crafted ring that I have. And this is also playing the 431 Haste Master ring from Broodkeeper Darna herself. So this combination does look to be the best in single target across the board. It is not a 2k DPS increase or whatever it was previously with Humming Arcane Stone, but it is still an option if you want. Now, I did indeed run some 7 or 8 target, 40-ish second, 1-minute sims. This changes a bit. From what I've seen, it's pretty much downgrade across the board for every spec for me personally. It makes sense. It's not a secondary stat-based ring, so I mean, an AoE loses some value, but, run your own sim still and make sure. The highest combination being Storm Infused Stone, Pestilent Plague Stone, and Obscure Pastel Stone. Storm Infused Stone is the one that AoEs, which is right here. Whenever you crit, you have a chance to deal damage to that target and to nearby enemies. The other stone being Pestilent Plague Stone, which is seeing a lot of play across basically every AoE sim. Decent high chance to spread plague to other targets, doing a lot of nature damage. And the other one was, where were we at here? Where's that one at? Obscure Pastel Stone, which is, I think, a chance to proc another effect. Yeah, there you go. So, I run your own sims, obviously. It looks to be Storm Infused and Pestilent Plague for a lot of things here. Tropic Fel Stone here, Humming Arcane Stone, but once again, Pestilent being here. They vary a bit. The big one I've seen, the big ones, has been good lord, Pestilent Plague Stone, and then Storm Infused Stone. So I run your own sims both in single target and AoE, but TLDR, Demo and AF, the ring looks to be good in single target. Destro, not really worthwhile. In AoE, for me personally, it's a loss across the board. I've heard Storm's doing a lot in Mythic Plus. I want to play with it myself, but as far as sims are concerned, it looks to be a loss across the board comparatively to a ring with secondary stats on it. It's important to keep in mind that while it might be doing a lot of damage, 6, 7, 8 million over the course of a run, secondary stats add to all of your damage as well. So it's sort of hard to extrapolate that all out in a damage profile, just damage breakdown kind of thing. But yeah, keep that in mind. In TLDR, at the same time, like, I don't know. If you're looking at a, I don't know, where are we at here? A 15 to 18k difference in mass AoE. Yeah, it's a difference, but if you like Storm Infused Stone, have fun. But it's lost for me. So thanks for watching, guys. That should just about wrap it up. Hopefully it answered the questions you might have had about the nerfs today and the stones and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I mean, I don't think the AF nerfs are too excessive. AF still wouldn't be good. Still has, you know, a handful of customizable damage profiles. Still looks to be a pretty good prog spec. Aberrus looks to be a pretty good Warlock raid in general. There's a lot of good lock fights, a lot of single target emphasis. Whether you're playing AF, Demo, or Destro, every spec has that for Warlock now. So we'll see where it goes. Plus, our tier sets aren't even really working 100% on PTR. So we'll see where that all goes. I hope they revert the Dark Lair nerf, because it does sort of just kill the Malevolent Visionary build, which is pretty fun. And it does sort of nerf Grim Reach and things in AoE as well. If AoE is their concern with Dark Lair, they should just hit Grim Reach and just not really worry about baseline Dark Lair. Hit Grim Reach a bit and go from there, but I don't think it's really even that OP. But, you know, I guess we'll see. Onyx Annulet, once again, Demo, AF, it's an upgrade in single target slightly. Destro, not worthwhile. In AoE, it's a downgrade for me across the board, but if you want, well, run your own sims and double check for your own character, because it will indeed vary. So, thanks for watching, guys. If I missed anything in the video, put it down below in the comment section, and any questions, put them in as well. I will be sure to get back to you. As always, weak course add-ons, profiles, links to Twitch and Discord down below are all for free for you guys. And one big final shout out again to my patrons for in the video, guys. Thank you a million times for supporting Patreon. Really appreciate it. If you look at supporting, link up here as well as down below in the description. And I also want to mention that the 10.1 Warlock PTR spreadsheet will indeed be going live in a week to week and a half or so on Patreon. The tier 3 Fellow Guard rank or higher gets early access to that. And yeah, that's about it. So it is what it is. Nerfs are a thing. I don't think these were like, you know, just knee-jerk reactions to the Demonic Inspiration, Wrath of Minion bugs. AF was still doing pretty well. Not excessive, but doing pretty well. BM was doing well too. So was Marks. So was a handful of other specs. And they also get hit today as well. So like, it wasn't just Warlock. The other big dogs, Frosty K, also got knocked down today too. So I don't really expect a whole lot to be shaken up as far as like who's doing well, who's performing well. But I do hope the Dark Lair change gets reverted, because it's not that impactful as far as the damage loss is concerned. For, you know, like for the Haunt the Soul build, really in general, but it hurts the Visionary build more, which is already not the highest enemy build in single target. It's close, but yeah, it's a lot more fun to play. So all that being said, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all again soon on stream. Peace.